All right, Coach B, headed up. Start with Postgame and get any questions.
Well, super excited. Obviously, a lot of great things went in the weekend. Before I go that way, unfortunately, Friday, when we were coming down to hop on our buses, we have a police escort, and unfortunately, State Trooper Corey Thompson, I believe, unfortunately passed on Friday night. Right, he was in our police escort the week before when we played Purdue, and just want to pass on our thoughts to his family and everything that goes into that. So it was a great reminder for all of us to start this weekend about how special the opportunity is that we have. Bret just shared with me that this was the 77th sellout. So if that's 77 reasons with Red Grange and all that goes into this, just truly amazing opportunity to come here. I know Josh is in the back. I just want to say thanks to Josh and his entire staff, Tom, Cassie, just this moment to have this crowd and to have this come to life in front of us. I did stress to our guys on Sunday, you're going to get a million questions about how you beat Michigan and how you prepare for Michigan. And I told them, listen, I learned this one from a very wise man, my mentor, Barry Alvarez. Like, you learn to beat Michigan 365 days a year, right? You do the things you do every day to take advantage of moments like this, and it was really, really rewarding. Thought our defense played outstanding. I think last week to have that moment and to learn from it, really big moment for Aaron and his staff. Defensively was really pretty cool. I think it was the lowest number of points Michigan's put up in 10 years. So to take advantage of that moment. Offensively, Luke continues to be very impressive up front. I thought we ran the ball when we had to. Obviously would have loved to close out a couple of those drives there at the end of the game, but super excited. I thought our special teams, Robbie Disher and Chris Hurd, we've been running that fake and doing certain things about that for the last several weeks, and to capitalize on it in that moment was just awesome. Total team effort. Couldn't say enough about our coaches. Just super excited. So what this does is this puts us in an environment to make next week even bigger, right? What we've done is set the stage for a really good ranked matchup against Oregon as well. I know they're a very good football team, and all that goes into it. We'll celebrate tonight, but put our preparation into Oregon tomorrow and move forward and see where we can go. To be at home, last time we played these guys, I lost my mom, right? So this week I told our team on Sunday I battled some demons, like probably more than you can ever imagine. When I was a player at Michigan, I actually lost my sister the day that we played Michigan. So this game has always had a lot of things around it that has been tugging on my heart all week. So thank you to my wife, my family, to have this moment. This is what I came here for, right? I thought we could build Illinois into something that is sustainable, and this is a very big step in that direction for our fan base. To have them get rewarded, all right? They've been through 24 years of non-ranked opponents as well, right? So they've been buying tickets for a long time, and to have this moment come to life in front of us was really awesome. So with that, open up some easy questions.
But defensively, you talked about the adjustment from 46 points in the second half to this.
Yeah.
What did you see from Aaron and his staff?
Well,
what
first,
was your advice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was, coming out of Purdue, I just said, hey, let's take a step back and see why these things happen, right? We just did some uncharacteristic things that were very easy to see and needed to be corrected. We had some conversations Sunday and Monday. Aaron Henry is a guy that I've thought the world of for, since he's been 16 years old. I knew he'd do that. I really thought our defensive staff buckled down and did what they did well and put themselves in a great position. And some players just stepped up, like Matt Bailey to make that pick there against, in my opinion, we have a bunch of good tight ends in this conference, but I think 18's a really good player. And to make that moment happen, and then I can't say enough. I think Gabe Backus had a special game, just rushing that tackle. He could taste it. He smelled blood, and he definitely went forward. I thought we did some things to shut down the run game and make them throw a little bit more than they wanted was good. And then just ultimately to put that game away the way we did was really a fulfilling moment.
You're kind of known as a line of scrimmage coach. How do you feel like this team has evolved at the line of scrimmage, and how did they play?
Yeah, Adam, I think that our guys manifested what I said on Sunday, and we preached to them all week. Even last night, my last comments were, you've been preparing for this moment since January. Anything we did, if we waited to this week to make it happen, and part of that I really believe in is just fundamentally we start up front on both sides of the ball, and I thought our guys really bought into that all week. Our first key to victory was play fast and physical, right, and for 4 quarters, and I thought we did that. I knew this is a good football team that was going to do some things. Super respectful for Michigan and the players they have over there. but I love the way our guys compete and kind of just find a way to win.
You've had some wins against Michigan over the
Yeah.
years, but
That's
these
more.
fans, never mind, got you. These fans have won in 40 years here.
Oh, wow.
And so that getting that done, I assume you've heard about this since you got here, right?
I have heard so many things about things we've never done, right? Like, I'd rather talk about things we've done. And I get it, I understand it, but I think that there's one of my biggest challenges or pet peeves that I've had during my 4 years here, right? Like, is just leave the past in the past, right? Like, let's move forward, and I get it, right? Like, I want that to be the standard, right? That should be the norm. We had a crowd that affected the game, right? And to have as a head coach to know that moment, and more importantly that our opponents felt that was a huge deal. So super respectful of the past. All that goes into it. Nobody honors our former players. It was so awesome today because I know there were a lot of players here. Josh has been telling me about the events and leading into everything. To have them come here and see that crowd and that environment is really pretty awesome.
So one of your first keys has always been run the ball. It's the most rushing yards Michigan's given up in 2 years. What led you guys to believe that you could have success just doing that today?
Again, I really preached on Sunday that my first team goal was to play fast and physical, right? But that can be in the throw game too. One of the things that Luke has done is because of the way he can move and throw, he challenges the defense in ways that they can't load the box at times. Now, at the end of the game, they're loading the box about as bad as you could. But I think overall, the plan that Barry Lunny has put together as just, offensively, the mojo those guys got as an offensive staff is really awesome. And Luke just continues to be very impressive. But now you have other guys come on. How about Donovan Leary coming in and throwing a strike on a second read in the back of the end zone, and he just kind of walked off the field, to go do it, and then kind of came back off. I can't say enough about the guys that step up in those positions.
Do you think a win like this helps Illinois on the national stage winning a game like this?
Does it help?
Yeah.
Well, I would hope so. I think but to your point, right, to have this moment is one thing, but to capitalize on it is the big. And we had a lot of great recruits in here. I know there's a couple guys that, are from around here that might have said they were going somewhere else. I think we might have changed some minds today. We had the most recruited offered players in my entire tenure here this weekend. And a number of them were watching as well if they couldn't make it in. So I just couldn't be any more excited about where we have the program, and now we just got to ratchet it up to make sure that we can stay where we need to stay.
Coach, on the big pun, what was it about the game situation at that specific point in time where you felt like you needed to make a play?
Yeah, I almost called it 2 weeks ago, actually. Actually, before there was a point where I was going to call it against Penn State. Just felt good about it. I told her I grabbed a dish and heard at the end of the second quarter and said, hey, I think this is a moment where if we got the right spot in the right position, I feel good about it. And TJ McMillan, great example, right? So TJ's our backup center wearing number 96 because we want to involve him in heavy formations. He's my PP, he's the quarterback of punt, right? And so we go through all these looks, and we actually put an in-helmet communication on him, so he thinks it's pretty cool because only the quarterbacks and safeties, so that's like his moment. But he just, owned that responsibility. I coached that group, that shield. I'm not trying to sound like, but that's my baby, right? Like those guys. It's probably one of my most enjoyable. I get about a 30-minute meeting with those guys on Wednesday mornings where it's just me and the shield in the staff room, and I get to bust chops a little bit, have some fun, and those guys might not enjoy it, but it's probably really, truly one of my favorite 30 minutes of the whole week.
What do you think of the Halloween?
What I think of the helmets?
Yeah, to look leather, but.
Yeah, actually, one of the officials came up. He goes, "Damn, coach, I had to go up and touch one of those. I thought they were leather." So over the last week, I've gotten a lot of texts from those connoisseurs of equipment, and then the gentleman that made those is actually from a small town in Nebraska. He's actually a Nebraska fan. I said, "Hey, it's okay. Everybody's gonna be a fan somewhere." So he came and watched the game, and yeah, I thought it was, and the uniforms in general. Just Nike. I give Nike a lot of credit. Like they gave us the okay to do those. They didn't have to do that. Like I think we were one of 3 teams that got uniforms the entire season this year. So to have that moment for one day is pretty awesome. I just hope I get a helmet. Jake Rosh, our equipment manager, deserves all the credit in the world. Like just everything about today he's been kind of living in this moment. He ran everything through Josh. Josh is kind of a little bougie on uniforms as well. So we kind of had to go through and get his final approval, but to get those moments today was pretty cool.
You've won this league before, you know how to win in this league. What's been the process of trying to convince this team here that they can not just win a few games?
It's a really good point. So I think when we were 2 years prior to this, like we started to win some games, and I think they just thought it was going to happen. They didn't realize the work and the attitude. But I walked off the field Wednesday, and I'm like, like we do what we're capable of doing. Like this could be a pretty good environment, right? Like this is really a good football team that we've been able to stay a little bit healthy. But even if guys get a little banged up, we got guys popping in, and I had a feeling probably coming out of Kansas and then to go on the road and beat a Nebraska team, right? And I know they got whacked today with Indiana, but like I thought the moment we were playing them, they were really, really good. So to win in this league, in the environments we're playing in, and then to put yourself in a position, hey, to get bowl eligible against Michigan at home in front of millions of people watching, like that's a pretty live day right there.
But you've talked several times about capitalizing on some of these big wins. What does that look like in your eyes?
Well, first off, we have to capitalize on recruiting, right? Like I do believe, I'm a huge believer in the Kentucky Derby theory of coaching, right? Like to win the race, you got to have the right horses, and to get this stage, to get this environment, and show people where we can play and how we can play, I think is a really big deal. And then the second thing is we just got to capitalize on it. Like I've said this, Josh knows this. Like our goal is to fill that stadium as often as humanly possible, right? And because if that stadium is filled, that provides a lot of opportunities for people in our athletic department that need the football program to be successful, right? So that's a very fulfilling moment for me individually as a head coach. I've kind of, 54 years on this earth and 16th year as a head coach, like I've kind of had my moments, right? I've been able to win, but like to see these other guys get these things now is really fulfilling, especially our players. Get a big hug from Miles Scott right there is worth its weight in gold. And they knew because of some of the things that I had shared with them, they knew that this was a really big week, and to have that moment shared with them now is really pretty awesome.
You
Bret,
mentioned
something about Caden
one more,
on the-
Steve. After
Oh, yeah.
this one that we did.
Yeah.
There's something about Caden on the radio.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, great
for
question.
what
Thank
he's
you.
facing.
Yeah, so Caden, a week ago at this time, we didn't really know exactly what was going to happen. We knew he was looking at a couple different options. He basically, on a practice play, kind of reached out, hyperextended his leg, and that created a little bit of issues. And so we took him really literally around the country. Again, Josh administration was awesome about just find the best person for these moments. So we had operation on his hip that didn't dislocate or anything, but we were trying to get what needed to be repaired, how it needed to be repaired. So we actually had surgery on Friday. I actually called him this morning. I texted with him and his mom last night. I called him this morning, and he was already up walking with a walker. And I said, well, that's a great visual. I imagine you in this white gown with your fanny hanging out the back, right, walking around with his walker. And he goes, Coach, it's exactly what's going on right now. I think the surgery went extremely well. I know the doctors are extremely excited. His mom said couldn't have went any better, and it was definitely something that needed to have an operation. So unfortunately, he won't be with us this year. I don't know if he'll be with us in the spring, but the goal and intention is to be with us in the fall and have a complete recovery.
Bret,
Officials.
Yeah.
on a personal level, I'm not trying to upset you.
Yeah.
As fast as life came at you 2 years ago, in the days leading up and the days after, first of all, did this week, the way the emotions came back to you,
Yeah.
did it surprise you at all? You think maybe you needed it, and the winning, did it somehow complete the process?
Yeah, I don't want to, make this about me, but like on Sunday, I didn't plan on getting emotional, but I was in front of my team, and I got very emotional. And half that room probably didn't know any of the story, right? Because they hadn't been here over the last 2 years, so that was there. And then I will tell you, I got a phone call from my mom on a Wednesday. So that day, coming in from work, she loved a certain hymn, and that song came over the radio, and I had to sit in my car for like 20 minutes just because. On Friday when I was coming in, just because I don't think those things happen by chance, right? To come full circle, I know she's smiling right now, and there's a lot of people that make this day happen, but to have the love and support of the people around me in this place, in this building, and the Smith Center, from our players, our coach, administration, is really special. So really, really cool moment.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.